Hello folks, we're going to talk about quant, a 100-day plan for quant. This is going to be reasonably comprehensive, going through every inch of the territory. We're going to talk about styles, day-wise plan, what should be the different phases, what topics to cover, how to plan, all of that. Fine. So it's going to be a comprehensive video. It's going to be pretty long, but I would strongly recommend those of you who are thinking, look, I need to figure out a method to crack quant, to have the patience to hang through this. Maybe stick it in at 1.25 or 1.5, but definitely go through the whole thing, because I think there is good value in here. Let's start. What are the fundas, the pillars to keep in mind? And so first principles greater than tricks. Fine. I'm a big bore on first principles. Don't fall for the gimmicky trick. Speed is an output variable, not an input variable. You cannot say I will do this quickly, or I will do all this and achieve speed, as in like a checklist. You practice, you get better at fundas and better and better at fundas, your speed will come. Don't game for speed. Speed will happen automatically. And so speed in this exam is not about computation speed, it's not about solving speed. It's about looking at a question and knowing the method immediately. And that comes from strong fundamentals. And so don't do the gimmicky book of shortcuts thing. Not worth it, and is usually useless. Right? So, stay within the cap depth. This is very important. Don't go down these Olympiad rabbit holes. Don't go into territory where the questions are way tougher than CAT. It's a big distraction. Getting an intuitive sense of level of difficulty of this exam is super important. It's very important for quant, super crucial for LRDI. Right now we are focusing on quant, but don't go into territory where you're shooting outside the zone. Not required. Absolutely counterproductive. Not just not required. Practice past papers, then mocks, analyze harder than you attempt. It seems like beating obvious things to say. Lots of times I find students hoarding past papers till the very end. Right? Past papers go for 5 years with 3 sections each, and then for 3-4 more years with 2 sections each. There are tons of questions on past papers. Right? So solve them, because they're representative. They get you a sense of what are our exam setters looking for. And that's very important to get that. And they're typically good quality questions. The questions are beautiful. Several of them, not all of them, obviously. Analyze harder than you practice. And so where your gaps are, how do you fill them? How can you take a question, you made a mistake on it, you walked into a trap, but the trap rests on a funda. You should extrapolate and say, I need to be careful about this kind of stuff. And that extrapolation is super important. Right? Consistency beats bursts. Daily quant time block. Fine. So consistency beats burst, no doubt about it. Fine. So keeping at it, sticking at it, finding some non-negotiable time chunks that you will focus on for specific tasks on a daily basis is super important. Fine. I've just stuck this or does it because of a style thing. For me, I get sometimes more work done in big chunks. I have moments of inspiration or weeks, generally coming with time pressure and stress points, but I have suddenly a day where I'll do 6-7 hours of super intense high productive work, and then I'll be beat, and then I need a day off to come back. Fine. So, but sometimes what I get done in those 6-7 hours is more useful than 8 hours and 8 hours of dull work. So sometimes if your style is burst driven, use your burst. I'm going to revisit this topic right at the end, but consistency should be a cornerstone. Some parts are not negotiable. Broad timelines, you need about 125 to 175 hours for quant without counting mocks. And so that's what you're looking to find. So give or take 1.5 hours per day of quant focus. Right? Doing mathematics, because there's one part of this math focus really pays off with logical reasoning, LRDI. Quant is slightly, I would say, it's vast, lots of syllabus and topic to cover, ground to cover, and quant is higher. And so if you're weak in quant, this number goes even higher, obviously, goes without saying. So what do we do in quant? This you should all know, the elephant in the room is arithmetic. 40% of the questions are root to 92, 93rd percentile opens up with arithmetic. You attempt 8-9 questions in arithmetic, you look at those 8-9, nothing else. You pick some 7, get all of them right, you're looking at 92, 93 percentile in a typical quant paper. And so it is 40% of the syllabus, but a straight line path to 90th percentile plus. And so don't do anything without putting this in the bag. You should know percentages, profit and loss, simple interest, compound interest, all of that very naturally. That should be a very easy thing for you before you step out. The next big chunk is algebra. This accounts for nearly 30%. If you include elements of using algebra in arithmetic topics as well, sometimes topics like progressions and logarithm, we'll classify here and here. But if you classify them here, then linear and quadratic equation, inequalities, logarithm, progression, functions, basics, they account for nearly a third of the topics. You can go get lost in this because it's vast. So limit it, focus very clearly on it, add that immediately after you do arithmetic. So one, algebra is standalone and important topic. Two, after getting comfortable with numbers and ideas, the next thing you have to get comfortable is with variables. Throw x's and y's to the mix and see the same process. It's very important. You cannot stay away from that. So jump in and have a crack at it. Next comes either geometry or number systems. Both have similar weightage. Geometry is geometry, trigonometry, mensuration, coordinate geometry. Number systems, modern math, permutation, combination, probability, set theory, all of that. Right? So important, but not half as important as this. Finish this first, then tack on this, then pick and choose based on your comfort. And this is the scope of the task we have. Right. First plan, what should you start with? Day 1 to 20 is a bedrock. Right. So focus on fundas, focus on arithmetic. Relearn definitions. What do I mean by that? Very often I find students working with formulae. Right. So a markup and discount. C into 1 plus a by 100 into 1 minus b by 100. Or 1 plus a by 100 plus b by, minus b by 100 minus ab by 100, some guff like that. It's very simple, markup and discount. It's not rocket science. Do not overcomplicate ideas by tacking formulae to them. And so when I'm saying relearn definitions, we all fall into familiar tropes, ideas that we take for granted because we have traversed that path many times over. But we take it for granted so much that we forget how we arrived at that point. Right? And then there is some beautiful nugget sitting in that journey that we have lost. Under really high quality questions, we'll speak back to the journey and not to this point. So relearn. There's some formula that you have seen. Okay, why does it work? One of my favorite examples is in geometry, sum of three angles is equal to 180. Why? Sum of two sides of a triangle is always greater than the third. Why? See the proofs of both of these. Very useful, super useful. It helps our brain reconfigure things. The bedrock, when you talk about bedrock, it's arithmetic. Fine. So drill arithmetic, do this. I like the phrasing here. I think Abhishek has made me change my language, or he has changed the language for me. 10 to 15 clean reps per subtopic. Fine. So this is useful. The language. So you revisit like a training for a sporting event. And so attack in mini chunks in each subtopic, but do it intensely. Start an error log. Where you're saying, look, these are the kind of mistakes I do typically. I have a funda gap. I'm making some mistake in framing the question, or I'm making a silly error. Where are my mistakes coming from, and how will just writing it down, the act of maintaining a log will automatically fill the gap. Right? So, but it helps identify. In the past CAT papers, you can use them every now and then as a hit. Right? So, why this is useful is because it gives you a sense of what is my benchmark level of difficulty style of question. Right? This funda is very useful, very powerful, untimed and then later on timed. So very often I find students jumping onto a series of timed tests and worrying about the time benchmark without digesting ideas and consolidating them. And so you're always taking decisions on question selection, on speed, and fretting about, I need to be doing each question in 2.5 minutes, all kinds of notional things, before having digested the ideas. And the first thing is to get it right. Then comes getting it right within the time framework. Speed is incidental. Very often speed in this exam has got more to do with decision making than solving speed. Selecting the right question gives you speed over the section, not necessarily doing each question quicker. It's also important, but selecting is a way bigger variable. And so don't go at speed driven metrics at a per question level. It's misleading and it hampers learning. Full marks 1 per week, right about now you have to start. When you're thinking about starting full marks per week, you should be utterly, completely, comprehensively agnostic to how much of the syllabus you have completed. You don't need to finish syllabus, you just need to focus on getting this, doing the mocks. What do we do after this? Add algebra, you're ramping up. Keep revisiting arithmetic. Do not ignore arithmetic ever. Right? After algebra, add geometry basics. Do a sectional quant every now and then. So that you can take stock of just that section. You will arrive at quant after having completed verbal and logical reasoning. So fatigue starts playing a role. So mocks have to be your main part for consolidating, taking stock of where you stand. But doing a sectional helps in its own way. To say, look, I'm going to forget the big game. I'm going to focus only on this 1/3 of the paper in its entirety, and then attack that. So add that somewhere around. Add a kind of 2 rounds habit. What do I mean by that? You say, look. Any question, we're going to dive deeper into this. Any question, think about, hey, I got this, I'm not going to touch this, maybe I'll come back. Those 3 buckets it has to fall into. Consciously develop your question selection algorithm, paradigm, habit, whatever you call it. Your question selection initially is gut feel based, then it becomes scientific rule based, then it becomes a nice mixture of these 2. Then you automatically take the decision, it turns out to be typically right for you. When you have to focus and improve that. It doesn't just come, but you have to go through the iteration. And full marks 1 per week, definitely. 46 to 70 days from here on. So we are within a month of the exam when you end this cycle. For full marks 1 to 2 per week. Question selection, this is what I'm talking about. How do you identify kind of time sinks that you should stay away from? And bailout cues, again a very interesting phrase. Right? So when do I say this is not working for me? Right? Sometimes my ego gets ahead of me, but I feel like, look, I got this, and I hang in with a question for 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and then you just dumped it. You know, a question that you get right after 6 minutes of trying, probably not worth it, whether you get it right or not. If I could have left it in 1.5 minutes, that would have been brilliant. And so you need to put cues in your head saying, look, this looks vague, I'm staying away. And so that is important. So you need to work on thinking about what are these more than anything else. Right? Build a start set list is the exact opposite. What are the kind of stuff that I need to stay away from? What are the kind of thing that is in my zone? Right? So some of these cricket players, they are like, you know that they are lining up a particular bowler. Right? There's an off spinner. Hardik Pandya is going to tonk. You know that. He knows that. Off spinner knows that. And so you have to set yourself up for your sweet spot zones. Sometimes you may have to bail out on your sweet spots. It's all right, but still you should know what your sweet spots are. Resolve incorrect answers untimed. Important, because sometimes the time pressure messes with our mind. So every now and then you need to say, look, I'm not going to worry about speed at every question level. Step back and just solve. Then take stock. Solving aram se and taking stock later will definitely improve your speed. It's counterintuitive, but it will. Closer to the finish, what do we do? Full marks 2 to 3 per week. Stabilize attempt strategy. By this time, you should have arrived at your attempt strategy. What is my sweet spot? What am I going out for? What are the ones that I'm going to definitely skip, not even touch? What are my cues for leaving a question after 1 minute, 90 seconds, 120 seconds? How do I jump and run? And so all those things should become clearly rule-based, but happening automatically. Right? Polish geometry, mensuration formulae via derivations, not rote. And again, important. Wherever formulae are there, see if you can derive them. They stick in your head once you derive them. If you see the proof for tangent secant theorem, you will not forget tangent secant theorem. Your sense of knowing when to think about tangent secant theorem goes up dramatically. Lots of times we don't forget the theorem, but we don't recall it at the right moment either. So sometimes you'll see the solution and say, look, that guy has used alternate segment theorem. You knew alternate segment theorem. You just didn't know that you had to use alternate segment theorem in that context, in that question. That gets better if you see the derivation, no doubt about it. So, silly error routine, probably daily 30 minutes is too high, but you've got to revisit your log book and say, look, these are the kind of mistakes I'm making, and I should take every effort to not make them. Just remembering the errors, going through that log book, super useful. What do you do in the last 10 days? Taper down, take rest, be well hydrated, revise your playbook, your mistakes and starter sets and bailout cues, and how do you have, what is your rhythm, what are you targeting, all of that. Reduce your intensity, dial it down, and get game ready. And so these kind of things matter, and being ready at your slot, sleeping well, eating well, having fun, knowing the exact watch that is lucky for you. Those are things that are very important. Right? What to drill? This is the theme of the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. What to drill? What are the exact topics that go into each of these? Then I'm going to rush through. Ratios, percentages, averages, triangle. Here I'll include profit and loss and simple interest, compound interest. Here we'll use mixtures and allegations, put them in. Speed, time, distance, work, time, rates. LCM friendly numbers, 1 by 12, 1 by 8, 24 is a good number, it should come automatically to you. This is the basket of things in arithmetic. Basket of things in algebra, linear and quadratic root relation, discriminant, that. Then progressions and logarithms, which come kind of together, which come in arithmetic and algebra, we put them in. Do not overdo this, AMGM till CAT level. Inequalities and functions are the tougher topic. Build up gradually into these and don't go into the deeper end of functions. Don't think about functions, limits, continuity, differentiability. That the beginning part of calculus, don't flirt with that, not at all. Keep it to our zone. Geometry is triangles, congruent, similarity, all basic triangle properties, basic circle properties, then polygons, then leading into mensuration. Then we sign off with trigonometry and coordinate geometry. And there's a basket of topics. Learn from Pandas. Don't go overboard with coordinate geometry and trigonometry. And so these are the kind of topics where CAT asks beautiful questions, but non-complicated questions. You will never ever need to know sine 3 theta or cos 2 theta or tan of a plus b. No, the whole trigonometric equations world, conic sections world of coordinate geometry, not relevant for us. But within the relevant territory, they ask beautiful questions. So look for depth, but keep your syllabus narrow in these two biggies. Right? Divisibility factors, HCF, LCM, number of factors, permutation, combination, basics. This is vast. This is your Olympiad territory. So Euler's totient function and Fermat's little theorem and all of that, stay away from them. Not required. Few. Wilson's theorem, Fermat's theorem, they're good theorems. See them, be happy with them, know the basic ideas, but don't do 15 questions on them because it's unlikely that they'll get tested. Mocks and analysis, viewed from the point of view of quant. What do we do? How do we analyze the quant section in mock? Micro targets, attempts and minimum accuracy for quant. This is a very interesting point. Minimum accuracy for quant that you should aim for is 100%. And you should not do quant on a gambling front. And I'm a big bore about it, but I do not understand how you will aim for 80% accuracy and look to attempt 15 questions in quant. If that's what you're aiming for, you should select 3 questions to get wrong, get them out of the way, get remaining 12 out of 12 right. That's the only way I can aim for 80% accuracy. I'm not saying I don't get stuff wrong. I get stuff wrong all the time. Right? But you cannot have accuracy as a bargainable variable in quant. It's not. There's no trade-off variable in accuracy. You solve a question, the amount of time it takes you to get it right and get it wrong is practically the same. So don't tell yourself, I'll do a little quick, it's alright if I get something wrong. No, it's not. Don't get stuff wrong. It's a attitudinal thing. And play for 100% accuracy. It will come and you have to take it very, very, very high. If not 100%, but flirting with it. Right? On the start set, the banker topic, these topics I'll gravitate towards, I'll get them. They get my blood pumping. I'm very happy attacking pipes and systems. I'm very happy doing something with the trigonometry in it. If you are in that packet, hit them, get them going. So your set of standard question thing, you keep expanding. And if you find them, you get them, your blood starts flowing. You get happy. You look at 7 questions, 8 questions done in 20 minutes, I'm flying. Fine. And you need to figure out ways of being able to get there. Very, 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 very important. Right? Warm up before the mock. Do 8 to 10 questions for quant just to kind of get the flow going. It's like nets before you go for the opening batting thing. This, I think, when you go to further mocks, is not required. But at early mocks, it's important to just get the flow before you start an exam. In the exam, you won't have this. So ease it off closer to the exam. During the quant section, so a bunch of things with before the mock. During the exam, scan, select, solve, skip. And so 2 rounds, look at the question and then decide whether you're attacking it or skipping it or parking it. And so I may come back, I will never come back, I'm getting it right now. Those are the three buckets. And so if you don't have a plan, you need to bail out as early as possible. And so don't spend 2 minutes evaluating a question. Not worth it. That's not worth it. Leave it there. And so have mechanism for whether diagram questions work for you, table questions work for you. Very heavy duty algebra, leave that. 3 variables, leave that. You should have a list of rules. Like I have a list of rules. A long question, I'll skip. Questions with speed, time, distance, and 4 sentences long, I'll skip. Questions that involve 3 variables, I'll come back later. So I have a set of rules like that. I don't want it. I'll come back later. Let's stick it in and get out of there. Short, sweet questions, but are conceptually looks like they are going to test something weird. I mean, I back myself to find that, so I'm going towards those. Sometimes I get bitten, but at least it's my play, my strategy. This you need to have your plan for it. After the mock, classify your errors, solve without timing so that you can improve your approach for each question. And this part is just a consolidation part. So I'm making these errors. I'm going to select 10 questions, just do them and finish it off. And so if young children, when they're learning meanings of words, and when they're learning meanings of words in another language, and suppose they didn't get it, they'll just sit and repeat. And so the teacher will say this meaning and that word, Hindi and English, Tamil and English, say it 10 times, and then they'll recite it. And so, but it helps. It registers. There's the word connection that is drawn between these two unwittingly. You'll not forget it once you've said it 10 times. There's a less chance you'll forget it. So at least it improves your odds. And so do this. Do not forget this. Question selection heuristics. Friendly data, single idea, low algebra, take, attack, finish. Arithmetic, do it, finish it off. Constraint heavy, symbolic soup, nasty diagram, too many variables, skip. I love having questions which I say I will not even revisit. And if it so happens that I finish everything and I'm revisiting that, I'm so happy. And I'm coming here, I'm revisiting this, never revisit back. That means I've done everything else. Very happy. But if I have 3, 4, 5 questions that I go, I hate this, I'm not touching it. Very happy. And so have that bucket and say, right? This non-obvious but feels like my territory. Then park it and come back. Bank this and then come back to this. Super important. And so, in fact, one of our, we have a lovely arithmetic workshop happening this Sunday where we're spending an extraordinary amount of time solving beautiful questions. But another objective for us, very clear objective for us is precisely this. And I want to drill deeper and deeper into this because there's a magical part sitting here. And so any question you say, look, take, park, skip. More automatic this decision is, the more natural and quick this decision is, the better you're going to perform. So we're going to focus on doing this. And in the workshop, we're going to have a test and which is going to have a mixture of easy and difficult questions, not really only intuitive questions to learn, not just simple questions for practice, but a blend of those. So what are we going to do in this workshop? We're going to, work on categorizing it like this. More importantly, we're going to work on not easy ones for speed. The focus is speed. And tricky ones, the focus is on learning the funda. What is very, very important that we end up doing is question selection, knowing which is which between these two categories. And the third category that you won't even touch. Forget that for the time being. When you look at a question and say, in my zone, I'm getting it right. You look at it and say, interesting, I'll come back to it. In my zone, I'll get it right, do it automatically without getting out of bed quickly. Interesting, I'll come back. Enjoy unraveling that funda. Learn basics very well, riding on that question. And so our workshop is extremely focused on building this skill set and this skill set. Those of you who are thinking about having a complete refresher for Quant, jump in. It promises to be a blast. I've done all the questions. I'm quite excited about discussing it. Our question, what is available in the 2am thing? So, it's a free question bank. This is by topic. So, if you're saying, look, I want to do 15 questions in percentages, profit and loss, it's available and it's free. And in the by topic thing, there is reference to previous year CAT questions, XAT questions, whatever not. So, you can go topic wise or year wise, slot wise. Brilliant. This zero error mock approach video is available. Quant roadmap video is available on our YouTube channel. I'm sure you guys know it. So please go through that. And once again, I would request you guys to have a good plan last 100 days. Urge you to kind of take stock using this video and plan that. And to sign up for the Arithmetic Workshop if you have not. I'm very excited about it. I've seen all the questions. I'm looking forward to doing big chunks of the class. I'm doing almost all the classes. I'm very excited about that. Looking forward to seeing all of you there. If you have not yet signed up for it, please run in and sign up for it. I'll catch up with you guys on Sunday. Best wishes.
Wait a minute.
Final thing, this is very important. Own your preparation. What I mean by that, too much time, too frequently, preparation plans and ideas and methodologies drift. Don't let them drift. Don't listen to ideas from one person and then just say, look, I'm just going to take this template and execute. Figure out your strengths, your weaknesses, your framework, your plans. If you really work in short bursts and not consistently, then create a plan based on that. If you're super comfortable with geometry, then have that as an anchor point. If you hate algebra, then see if you can get to 98th percentile without touching X's and Y's. And so own your preparation. Super important. The last lap to say, hey, this is my strength, my weakness, my plan, my strategy, my set of ideas, my rules, and carve that out and double down on that. And this last lap is very much about owning this journey. All the very best.